life round meant for delivery to a client in Sapele. Confirming the arrest on Thursday, the state police public relations officer, SP Bright Edafe, said, following a well-coordinated sting operation, our officers arrested the couple in Okpe local government area and recovered a locally fabricated Beretta pistol in their possession. The wife, Uche Joshua, admitted to being the dispatcher of illegal arms for her husband. According to the police statement, Uche confessed that she had delivered several items as directed by her husband to various clients within Warri and Sapele, while further investigations led to the arrest of one junior Moses Ogedegbe, 30 of Usei Foron community, Ugeli South local government area, suspected to be a member of the syndicate. In a separate operation, CP SAT operatives arrested suspected cultists and armed robbers at different parts of the state, recovering 2 pump-action guns, 1 Beretta pistol, 1 cut-to-size gun, and 24 live cartridges. The police said preliminary investigations identified the suspects as members of the Vikings confraternity, and further probes were ongoing. While in another development, CP SAT operatives arrested a suspected kidnapper and internet fraudster in Mosoga and its environs, recovering a cut-to-size gun. President Bola Tinubu has resolved the leadership crisis in the Lagos State House of Assembly, backing the return of Mudashiru Obasa as Speaker, despite an earlier recommendation for his resignation. The resolution came after a meeting between Tinubu and all 40 lawmakers at the presidential villa in Abuja, not minding that the president's decision contains the recommendation of a panel he has set up to mediate the crisis. The panel, led by former Osun State Governor Chibisi Akande and former Ogun State Governor Olusegun Osoba, along with the leadership of the Governance Advisory Council, had advised that Obasa should step down and after being reinstated. However, contrary to the deal, Obasa joined the Assembly indefinitely and refused to resign as expected. This is coming after Obasa had been removed on January 13, 2025 by 35 lawmakers who accused him of high-handedness, financial misappropriation, and authoritarian leadership, while Miranda replaced him but later resigned under pressure from party leaders. On Tuesday, Obasa's lawyer, Chief Fashanu Afolabi San, said the Speaker did not withdraw his suit despite his reinstatement as Speaker. About 32 persons have been convicted of internet fraud by various courts in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. The convicts were prosecuted by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC Ibadan Zonal Directorate, on separate on-count charges of impersonation and cyber-related offences. Delivering judgments, Justices Laderon Akintola, O.S. Adeyemi, O.S. Adeyemi, K.B. Olawoyin, and G.A. Sonmonu of the Oyo State High Court, along with Justice Inkeoye Maha of the Federal High Court, Ibadan, sentenced the fraudsters to varying jail terms and community service. According to the EFCC head of media and publicity, Dele Oyewale, the convicts pleaded guilty and were sentenced accordingly. In addition, the convicts forfeited various items to the federal government, including cash, phones, laptops, and vehicles linked to their fraudulent activities. One of the convicts, Ayobami, who was also ordered to refund 2.5 million naira to his victim as restitution, while the EFCC reiterated its commitment to fighting internet fraud and financial crimes across the country, warning that more offenders will face prosecution. Southwest Zonal Coordinator of the National Emergency Management Agency, Kadiri Olarewaju, says over 500 shops and stores were destroyed in a fire at the popular Aleshiloye market in Ibadan, Oyo State. In view of an on-the-spot assessment report on the incident in Ibadan, the state capital, Olarewaju said initial estimates put financial losses in the hundreds of millions of naira, while many traders had recently restocked their businesses, worsening their financial burden, adding that the fire had severely disrupted economic activities, affecting both traders and supply chains. Olarewaju also said efforts to control the fire were hindered by the lack of a functional fire truck at the market's fire station and an inadequate water supply, adding that despite these challenges, responders managed to prevent the fire from spreading to all other sections of the market. In response to the incident, the State Deputy Governor Bayo Olawan visited the market to assess the damage, while the state government has pledged to provide immediate relief support to affected traders through the State Emergency Management Agency and NEMA. To reduce the risk of future incidents, NEMA has recommended strengthening fire safety measures, equipping markets, fire stations with armed invaders, and in response, the Commissioner of Police, CP Steve Yabanet, accompanied by heads of security agencies and the Governor's security advisor, Colonel Alexander Ashongu, retired, swiftly moved to the area to assess the situation. She expressed condolences to the bereaved families and also condemned both the killings and the subsequent destruction of property, and assured residents that those responsible for the violence would face justice. Kogi State government has reinforced its commitment to sustainable development through strategic revenue reforms and healthcare investments aimed at improving public service and infrastructure. At the unveiling of the implementation of the Land Use Charge Law 2024, the executive chairman of the Kogi State Internal Revenue Service, Alhaji Saliu Enehe, stressing that taxation is more than a levy and it is an investment in the state's future. He said, streamlining revenue collection will enhance transparency and ensure sustainable economic growth, and described the land use charge as a crucial step towards boosting revenue for local governments, fostering data-driven decision-making, and paving the way for smart city development and job creation in the state. And he called on stakeholders to collaborate with the KGIRS to ensure the success of the initiative, adding that well-structured revenue service system is the foundation of good governance, and while embracing the land use charge, they are helping to empower the government to deliver more impactful projects that will benefit businesses, communities, and future generations. Executive Director of the Kogi State Primary Health Care Development Agency, Dr. Musa Muazu, that the initiative aims to strengthen immunization services and ensure equitable access to life-saving vaccines for children. Federal Capital Territory Minister Barrister Yesom Wike has highlighted plans to improve public transportation in the FCT, with an effort to partner with the private sector to provide a safe and efficient transportation system. Wike disclosed this in a media chat held in Abuja, clarifying that the construction of bus terminals in various parts of Abuja is part of ongoing efforts to better transportation in the country.
I will convey you to your destination. You know that I'm going to park, and the vehicles are registered. The drivers are known. In that case, you'll be able to solve the problem of one chance or insecurity in the city. So we are going to partner with some private persons who are committed to public transportation. But the government cannot be and has always been a good business person. If you are not good, then everything will collapse. All we are doing is to provide infrastructure that will enable the private sector participate effectively, and we giving them making the environment to be easy for them to operate. So that's what we are doing. And let me also tell you something. You remember we try to empower the youth by giving them vehicles, you know. You see, I tell people, all these theories, empower the youth, empower youth.
Regarding youth empowerment, Barrister Wike expressed disappointment at the attitudes of youths to empowerment programs of government, saying that he was reliably informed that the vehicles procured for youth empowerment in the FCT have been sold off by the beneficiaries against the original purpose.
Policy to help you. Do you know what surprised me? Even ladies were included. I go to overseas, I see ladies being taxi drivers, conveying you to where you're going to. In Nigeria, it's a taboo. But you are driving your vehicle to earn a living. Hey, they will sell me taxi driver. They will sell me bus driver. I've never seen a like that. It's not a taboo. No, I'm telling you, when I mean it's a taboo, is that we see it so. I'm not saying it's, I say it's only in Nigeria. I go overseas. I come and I see some Nigerians. There was you. Very good. Come home. No, I don't want to be a taxi. Now, that's why I say, as if it is a taboo. Now, just listen to what I'm saying. We put vehicles. Have you seen any of those vehicles along the road? They've sold them. It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. It can be two. It doesn't matter. It's the intention. What you are saying is that we are trying to empower you to own a business. And you are accepting it. Even if it is 200, it's 100, it's 50. Is that why it should be done so? Even if it is one. And we sit back, we talk about you.
Multiple lives along the Abuja-Makurdi highway. The commercial bus belongs to Flight Transport Company, and the accident occurred on Thursday, leaving several dead and many others injured. Many of the victims, including men and women, lay motionless on the road. Jesus. The crash has sparked fresh outrage among road users and concerned citizens, with many taking to social media to condemn the continuous recklessness of some bus drivers. Kebbi State Governor Dr. Nasser Idris has assured victims of the recent Lakurawa attacks in Areba local government area that his administration will take swift action to resettle them in their communities. Idris, who made this pledge during a condolence visit to the internally displaced persons camp in Kangiwa, Kebbi State, said the camp shelters those displaced from Benin, Debe, Dan Marke, and Tambo, where armed assailants attacked last Saturday, killing 11 people and setting one of the villages ablaze. A statement by the governor's special advisor on media and publicity, Yahya Saraki, and Idris' visit was to console the families, the victims, and assess the situation firsthand to guide the government's response and express deep sorrow over the loss of lives and property, while commending security agencies for their efforts in containing the crisis. He also raised concerns that the attacks frequently originated from neighboring Sokoto State and Niger Republic, and commend the chairman of Araba local governments for promptly setting up the IDP camp as per my directive. Idris reiterated his administration's commitment to ensuring the safe return of the victims to their communities and pledged to take all necessary measures to restore normalcy in the affected areas. Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed has expressed his readiness to work with the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 general elections, Peter Obi, to provide good governance to Nigerians. Mohammed, who made this statement in Bauchi on Thursday when Obi paid him a visit at the state's presidential lodge, said the visit, which also focused on how he and Obi could work together to address poverty and criminality, transcended political, religious, and tribal lines. In remarks, Obi said he decided to visit Governor Mohammed to discuss Nigeria's issues and consult with him, given his position as the chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP Governors Forum, and a critical stakeholder in Nigerian politics today. Obi also said the country needed to invest heavily in critical sectors to lift people out of poverty, thereby reducing criminality in society. Jigawa State Police Command has burst suspected a syndicate of animal rustlers terrorizing Duse Axis. Spokesman of this command, SP Lawan Shishu Adam, who confirmed these in a statement, said the police received reports that one black motor vehicle, Golf wagon with registration, and was sighted parked by the roadside near Gidantilo village along Shuaren Kiawa Road, Kiawa local government area, suspected to be preparing to commit their heinous act. Excuse me. He said, upon receipt of the report, patrol team attached to the Kiawa division was dispatched to the scene, and items recovered include bunches of keys, both standard and locally made, suspected to be master keys, some ropes suspected to be used for animals rustling, as well as an iron cutter suspected to be a breaking implement, one padlock, and one flog spanner. During interrogation, the suspect admitted to specializing in animal rustling, tricycle theft, kidnapping, motorcycle theft, and motor vehicle theft. He also mentioned one Umar Abdullahi of the same address as his accomplice and owner of the bag discovered in the vehicle, which was later apprehended, and confessed to specializing in the theft of solar batteries and electric armor cables. Kano State Governor Abba Yusuf has reaffirmed the state's commitment to deepening economic and infrastructural collaboration with China, urging Chinese investors to take advantage of Kano's business-friendly environment. Speaking on Thursday while hosting a Chinese delegation led by the Chinese ambassador to Nigeria, Dun Hai-yu, at the government house in Kano, Yusuf described the state as a historic commercial hub with vast investment opportunities, adding that Kano is the major commercial center in sub-Saharan Africa and an industrial hub with a conducive business environment for Chinese investors. He highlighted the state's economic advantages, including access to raw materials, a strategic location, and a large consumer market, adding that Kano remains an attractive destination for foreign direct investment and acknowledged China's global economic leadership and its critical role Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. This is the Global News on the Atlantic Television Network, and now to the rest of our stories. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris has expressed confidence that President Bola Tinubu will be judged favorably by history, citing his commitment to Nigeria's progress and governance with a sense of divine responsibility. Speaking at the ministerial press briefing session in Abuja on Thursday, Idris said Tinubu's ongoing reforms, though demanding, are necessary to reposition the country for long-term stability and development, and acknowledged that transformative reforms are often met with resistance due to their immediate hardships, but stressed that they are essential for national progress. He also said across the world, history has shown that meaningful reforms are never easy. They require sacrifice, resilience, and a commitment to long-term progress, adding that the initial difficulties that have accompanied these changes are a necessary price for a more stable and prosperous future. While appreciating Nigerians for their patience and support, Idris urged religious leaders to take advantage of the sacred seasons of Ramadan and Lent to pray for the country's peace, security, and development. Senator representing Kogi State and Senatorial District Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan has filed contempt charges against the Senate President Godswill Akpabio and others over a 6-month suspension without pay from the Senate. Others listed in the Form 48 contempt charge. This is coming after Justice Obiora Eguatu of the Federal High Court in Abuja on 4 March, while delivering a ruling on an ex parte motion filed by Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan through her legal team led by Mr. Michael Numa Atsan, restrained the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Code of Conduct from proceeding with any investigation against the plaintiff and applicant. This investigation related to alleged misconduct following events that occurred during the Senate plenary session on February 20, 2025, and subsequent referral on February 25, 2025, while the court's order was to remain in effect pending the hearing and determination of the motion on notice for an interlocutory injunction. The court also issued an order directing the defendants to show cause, while an interlocutory injunction should not be granted to restrain them from proceeding with the purported investigation against Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan for alleged misconduct, as such actions would affect her privileges as stipulated in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, the Senate Standing Order 2023, and the Legislative House's Powers and Privileges Act. The court granted Akpoti-Uduaghan permission to serve the original summons and accompanying documents on all defendants through substituted means, such as delivering them to the clerk of the National Assembly, cited as the first defendant, or by pasting them on the premises of the National Assembly and publishing them in 2 national dailies. Amid sexual harassment allegations leveled against the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, by Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, the Red Chamber on Thursday passed a vote of confidence on its presiding officer. The decision followed a brief debate on a motion sponsored by the Senate leader, Okwayemi Bamidele. In his presentation, Senator Bamidele said there was no time in the 10th Senate that a sexual harassment claim was reported by Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan or any female lawmaker for that matter. Bamidele equally insisted that those accusing Akpabio of being a judge in the matter are oblivious of provisions of Section 60 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, which gives the National Assembly powers to regulate itself. He said, while appreciating the concern of the public on this matter, the Senate will strictly be guided by their rules and conventions as provided by the Constitution.
To the public that the issue before us, as of the time we refer this matter to the Ethics and Privileges, had nothing to do with sexual harassment. Section 60 of the Nigerian Constitution confers on this parliament the constitutional right to regulate its own procedure, and Section 1, subsection B of our rules book also makes it clear by reiterating that constitutional authority granted to us by Section 60 of our rule of the Constitution, giving us the right to regulate our procedure. And suspension, as far as we are concerned, is the only alternative to the kind of anarchy that the nation witnessed in the past. It is the candid opinion of this leadership, in consultation with distinguished senators here, that we do not only stand united around our mandate, but that we also communicate this clearly to members of the Nigerian public, by moving a vote of confidence in the Senator Godswill Akpabio leadership of this Senate, and in also thanking the entire senators for the ways
this decision is not unconnected with Senator Akpoti Uduaghan's presentation at the Interparliamentary Union session held in New York, where the Kogi Central lawmaker told them that the Senate's president suspended after submitting a petition alleging sexual harassment. Deputy Senate President Senator Barau Jibrin, who presided over Thursday's plenary session, noted that with the budget which has now passed, demands that the legislature focuses on its oversight functions. He reiterated that the matter is now before the courts, and as such, the Senate should allow the legal system to take its course.
To the presentation of a very able, dynamic, and erudite Senate leader, I'm convinced to want to support unequivocally the motion moved by the Senate leader. Having explained to the whole world that the deliberation of this Senate was based on the matter that happened in this chamber on the 5th of February, and that we are guided by our rules, and therefore moved that I second the motion on vote of confidence on the President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, of the capacity and capability, because it's leading us well. I also second.
That there's no point talking about an issue that has been dealt with by the Senate. It has been dealt with, it's been in line with our system, and that we should do our matters before the court of law. We should allow the court to decide, and therefore not get distracted and get focused. The budget has just been passed. We need to look at the budget and make sure that it's fully implemented for the benefit of our people. This is what he's saying. As a leader of the Senate, he just wants us to be on track, not to deal with the matter. In fact,
Nigerian Senate has informed the Interparliamentary Union that Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan was suspended for 6 months due to gross misconduct. The Senate said Natasha's suspension is not related to allegations of sexual harassment, as she claimed. This is coming after Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan had taken Nigeria's Senate President Godswill Akpabio to the Parliamentarian Union over her 6-month suspension and allegations of sexual harassment. Speaking at the Women in Parliament session at the United Nations in New York, Natasha informed the IPU of her alleged victimization by Akpabio. The